Alright, man. Alright, one last glass. What would you like in another glass of?
Surprisingly, Pacino.
Okay. So let's pour you that, man. One last glass is just, just relax. Kind of. Sort of.
The pressure is off, right?
Sort of. So let's talk about. So here, I have a question, and it involves like the LGBTQ community.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about this recently. So I remember when the word queer was kind of derogatory.
Yes.
But now I see, people, I acknowledge myself as queer, or they address other people as queer. And I'm trying to figure out is it similar to the equivalence of how black people took the N-word and have now applied it as like this is just, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out if that's a comparison that can be made.
So what's funny is I've asked the same question.
Yeah.
Because I was like, when did we start using this word again?
Yeah.
And I will say that I already said it. I really do feel like I am the worst member of the LGBTQ plus community because I am not as vocal or in the know about certain stuff. I was when I was younger, but not that it's not a part of me, but other avenues took more of a forefront in my mind.
Yeah.
Because not that it's not important, and that not a lot of people struggle with it, but for me, it's not a struggle for me. And I don't have a lot of people around me who I feel like I need to be lifting up and pushing forward in that regard. So I'm way more out of touch than I would like to be.
Yeah.
But I've always found ways to still be connected and champion, but just not in the forefront like I am with some of the other causes that I support. So again, I'm so sorry to my brothers and sisters out there. Brothers, sisters, I don't even know. See, I'm really bad. Like I'm a really bad person. Like other humans that identify in the community. Let's put it that way.
We're all still learning. You know what I'm saying?
And we are still learning. And I'm trying to learn more because I feel so out of touch. And I'm feeling like I'm playing catch up on a lot of things because one, not only are those outside of the community learning and trying to catch up, because it is more so because everything's moving so quickly.
Yeah.
Like the language is shifting. It has shifted just even in like the last 5 years with the different ways to the pronouns and such. Like there were only a handful of pronouns in comparison to now.
Yeah.
And for me, I think identifying as queer, which a lot of people argue what the Q even stands for. Is it queer? Is it questioning? And it really is depending on the person.
Yeah.
Or at least, again, my knowledge, the studying that I've done, and just the conversations I've had. And so I can't say that it's the same thing, but I think it's a way for us to. I do feel like it, in a way, takes it back as a positive thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm queer. I know I'm queer.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's hard for some people because they know, that it does have that negative connotation or has had. But I feel like a lot of the younger generation is bringing that back.
Yeah.
Which again, everything cycles. Everything will,
such a cycle.
It's such a cycle. So I feel like a lot of that terminology for in that community specifically, you're going to see constant change and evolution as we, as a people, continue to identify and get to know ourselves. Because at the first time in a long time, it's much easier to be out loud and proud than it was even 5-10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So, and in doing so, we're going to figure out ways that are unique to us that we can claim as our own without the stigma. And I think a lot of people should look up to the LGBT plus community because of just how prideful we are, and who we are, because so much of who we are is discounted, discredited, disowned. Much like black people.
Yeah.
I mean, and so, but we all look at it and feel it differently, right?
Right.
I think I mean, a lot of people say we really should support each other better. Yes, we should.
Yeah.
Because we all have been impacted in some way as a minority, but I don't think the N word is ever gonna live down its
Right.
it's
That's a hard one to shake. You know what I'm saying?
the history behind it. I mean, yes, we in the black community use it affectionately.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not going to even talk about how I use it because it's very inappropriate. But I mean, I know it's wrong. I know it's history, and I try not to call my people that word as much as possible because it can be
it's still in the back of your mind. That's
it's a bad thing. But I also am just a weird person in general, and I have an odd viewpoint on words like the N word and several others in the dictionary, the adult dictionary. I will call it that, because I have defined them in my own way, and I use them accordingly. The end. The end. That's all I got. So yeah.
Yeah.
That was good.
Okay. Yeah, I just knew that. I was like, dang, they do use that now. It's like,
it is.
And I can't even. That was
I can't even remember the first time in recent years where I heard it. I was like, are we use that word? I honestly had never. I don't even think I had. I know I didn't hear it much in high school, and I know I didn't hear it at all in college. So it had to be after college time when I heard it again, and I was just like, this is weird.
Like when I hear it, it puts me on edge. I'm
like, what you mean?
Like I'm waiting that somebody can swing on them,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But what's funny is after I heard it, and I heard it from a person within the community, I was like, oh, okay. And so that's how I started identifying myself. I'm a queer black woman. Like that's the simplest way I put it. I rarely put bisexual. Like that's just weird.
Is it though?
It's not. It's just when you're writing it in something, it's like, do I really want to go into that much detail about my sexuality, or can I just say I'm a member?
Right.
So again, that's me still growing in my identity and shaping who I am, but still knowing at the same time exactly who I am.
Yeah. I feel like at the end of the day, as long as you know who you are,
it's hard. I mean, it can be hard though to really talk. Like, I don't know. It's weird. It's just weird for me because I've never. Again, I said it in the session. Like, I never found it necessary to talk about that. So now that I'm being asked about it more, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I should talk about it. So then I'm like, well, I don't even know how to put it into words because I've never had to, even though I knew exactly what it is, aka who I am. It's just, oh, now I have to make it make sense to you, and that's just too much work.
That's a lot of work.
That's so much work.
That's why you just gotta get t-shirts made.
I thought about it. Just
for years, I've been like, when I was growing up, I always wanted to get a shirt that just said, yes, I am 6'8" at the time. I do play basketball. My shoe size is size 18. You can on the back of it, like, if you have any other questions. That way we just get all that out in the open and let it go.
Yeah. For me, as a kid, I would have probably gotten something like that said, yes, I know I'm fat. Any other questions? That would have been mine. Because I'm like, what else? Like, what you want? Like, yeah, I see it. I see it every day. What do you want? What do you do about it? But yeah, shirts. Dope. The shirt industry should be booming.
Like they can make so many of those shirts.
Yeah, like,
you know what I'm saying?
Man.
I'm gonna get that. I feel like just out of shits and giggles, I'm gonna get that shirt done.
You should.
That way, because I know, still to this day, I still get the looks like, but nobody ever says anything, and it's so annoying. Like,
people are weird, and we're, again, Royal Week. Sorry, really don't know how to communicate.
Yeah.
Like, if you, like, we don't want people to be like, some children who will just walk up to somebody and just tell them all about themselves.
Honestly.
But at the same time, we shouldn't be fearful.
Yeah.
Children are not fear. They have no fear in asking or addressing the uncertainties that they have in their head.
Yeah.
So why is it that as we get older, that fear creeps in?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, just go for it. Ask the question. The most you might get is a punch in the face. Okay, but then you might have a new
never
friend.
to ask that question again.
You might, yes, or you might get a new friend out of it because they might be like, oh, you were bold to ask that question. Be my friend now. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up.
That's a crazy risk reward, though.
It is.
That's a crazy risk reward.
But I'm just saying, like, I feel like we would be, it would be so much easier rather than just keeping all of that in. Because sometimes it is inappropriate though. Like, you should just not ask those types of questions. But for
Depending
the ones,
on the time, situation, place, these are all.
But if you're tall, I'm pretty sure asking you how tall you are isn't gonna result in punching me in my face.
Nope. I've been asked that question almost every day about it. So
right.
Another one is not going to kill me. At least I don't think so.
Exactly. Like, if you could say, oh my gosh, your hair is great, your earrings are great, your shoes are great, your shirt's great, you should be able to be like, oh my gosh, you're so tall, that's really cool. And just leave it there.
How tall are you?
I just.
Well, then.
I'm really tall.
So, I'm gonna tell you something that frustrated me.
Mm-hmm.
You are part of and I want to give them a plug, the RT Multicultural. I don't want to get the name wrong.
Oh, Multicultural Alumni Association.
Yes. Great organ. I love what y'all been doing.
Thank you.
It's amazing. The board y'all are revealing the board members. Great board members, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. So y'all have a scholarship.
Yeah.
That what's called, right?
Yeah.
Can you just explain that real quick before I get into
your grievance?
Before I get into my Birkin.
So we one of the in preparing to organize the association and then the advisory board. One of the things that always came up in discussion with the identified board members was their desire to provide funding to a prospective student of color specifically, but minority students in general, was the STEM, depending on who the conversation was with. So we knew right offhand that we were going to form some sort of scholarship. This past November, so November 2020, we launched a scholarship fundraising campaign which would guarantee us enough money if we raised $25,000 would be matched dollar for dollar to get us to the $50,000 mark so that Runoff Macon would be able to officially endow the fund. With the match, we were able to raise over $88,000 before December 31st, which was incredible. There's not many other initiatives have ever grown that fast on such a grassroots initiative. So I was really excited about that. It's really dope. Oh, and the scholarship is for, I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
The scholarship is for a student that is from that identifies themselves as being from a marginalized community. So, person of color, LGBTQ plus, etc.
Yeah.
Is how we define that. And we don't know what the amount will be, how often it will be awarded, but it is an award that will hopefully have its first awardee this fall.
Okay. So, as you know, constant posting, constant shares. What was the target number that during that time?
The initial one, or this one that I did for June?
Yes, that one.
The one for June was $100,000.
Okay. I'm going to ask. Did we hit the $100,000?
No, we did not hit the $100,000.
So let's get the good stuff out the way first. I'm glad that the thing in December worked out
Yes.
great. It sounded like it worked out amazing.
It did.
I feel like there was a lot of energy behind it.
Yes.
I'm not here to question why that energy was there. I just know 2020 was very tumultuous year.
Yes.
And I also don't know who gave. That's the other thing. I don't want to pinpoint things on certain.
Yes.
I know my schools alumni. I know when they want to throw money at stuff, they will throw money at stuff. So you'll excuse me if I'm not a bit pissed that we couldn't get to $100,000.
I was too. And I'm gonna be completely honest. For those of you who don't know, I run all of our social media. And so all of the social media that went out in the November, December was designed and pushed out by me. Same for the June. As far as the articles written, emails sent out, that was a combination of other staff members in the development office, as well as members of, primarily Tamisha Grimes, who is the chair of the association. The energy for the November December campaign was really there because the board knew and had enough guidance to coach them through their process.
Yeah.
It was also my full-time job at that point because athletics at Macon was non-existent.
Right.
So I could put all of my energy into making sure that goal, that initiative was done. So that's me and my colleagues calling alumni, me and my colleagues sending emails to alumni, me and my colleagues even actually that was just me, texting alumni.
That was just me.
And then having the board members also call, send emails, and text their peers.
Yeah.
Which was, and sharing the post on social media. Like that was easier to do. For the June push, Random Baker's not my full-time job anymore.
Right.
So I also had a lot going on, changing to the new job. And
right.
I'm not trying to make excuses, but the energy wasn't there because our focus wasn't there. So myself, other staff members, and the board, it's been a rough year for us.
Sure.
And trying to get everything together. We were all just excited that we even hit the first goal.
Yeah.
And it was my desire to say, well, we're this close to 100K. Let's just go for it.
Yeah.
Let's just see if we can hit it. I mean, we did raise about $500, which isn't bad. But I know that there was the potential to raise more. But what I also want to say is, it's not like this is going anywhere.
Right.
This fund is in perpetuity at Macon, which means it can always get a donation. So even though we didn't hit 100K this year or last fiscal year, we can hit it before December 31 this year.
Yeah.
And which would mean in a full year we were able to raise $100,000 for this one scholarship that was benefiting a big area of the institution's, minority livelihood, really.
Yeah.
And then, again, my point in trying to communicate the way I did was just like, we can make or break somebody that looks like me and you going to Macon.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
It is.
Because there are not a lot of other scholarships that do that at Macon. Because actually I don't know the because, but I will say that I feel like if our Black and brown students who are coming from institutions where they are not necessarily in the top elite of their classes, but are overall a good candidate for Macon, that means they're going to miss out on every academic scholarship possible. So if we can give them a push, even hopefully they're still super academic,
Yeah.
very involved in their community or what have you, they can benefit from this scholarship now, and another student of color could get another scholarship. So
Yeah.
we're trying to diversify the opportunity pool,
Right.
really, without trying to
We're trying to expand the pool time.
We are, because there's not a lot of options there. I mean, I don't recall that many students who look like me, you and me, that get the presidential scholar. I'm sure there are,
Right.
but it's not going to be 10. It might be 3. I know at least 2. They won't in my class. I ain't
I got one. But like I said, we're trying. The whole goal of this is to make the pool go from this to a little bit bigger.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That way, because at the end of the day, we try. Like, it's helping them, also helping.
It is.
Kind of looking funny in the light with some of the numbers.
It is.
That's all. That's all we're saying.
I mean, and it's hard. I know a lot of people probably aren't a fan that this scholarship was not specifically for a black prospective student.
For sure.
Because it's like, well, that's the biggest minority that comes to Macon, and like, I get that. Like, at the end of the day, it would be great to be like, oh, here's a whole bunch of money for black students.
Yeah.
This here. But legally, it's not allowed. That's all I got.
I think too, though, and
it's hard. That's just it's really hard.
I do get that, because as our culture, we identify with a lot of the struggles, a lot of the disparities in what we do, what we can achieve, and what things that we get, things that we gain. We
Right.
get that. However, when we start to do that, we're doing the exact same thing that they did to us.
Right.
So it's like, and I understand not.
It's a weird balance.
It's a weird balance, right? Because I understand that even people don't want to admit it, but some other cultures are very similar. They treat us the exact same way. You know what I'm saying? So it can be tough to try to make that balance. Like, people of color and black are not necessarily the same thing.
Right.
Because people of color can also still look down on. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're absolutely right. It happens. It does.
So I get that. At the same time, it's in this type of area, in this situation with this scholarship, it's better to scope it.
Yes.
Because it's easier to get that funding. It's easier to get the scholarship. It's easier for people to get behind.
Yes.
With disguising it as this.
Yes.
Versus, you know what I'm saying? Because people get real funny when it's specific people black.
Right.
They get real iffy about that for some reason.
Well, the biggest reason is like, oh, that's say, oh, it's a reverse racism, and
Bro, they love that. They have to relax with that.
It's
you know how many times I've almost commented on like an alumni post and be like, look, Al. That's no such thing.
It's not. I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
It's just crazy, and it's just like, okay, fine. You don't want to push the norm or push the bar, whatever you want to call it, too much to try to do the right thing. I don't even know. Yeah. Anyway, more of the story is, it's a good opportunity to do much more than what has been done previously.
Right.
But yes, it's definitely a nice big baby step.
Yeah.
But there are so many opportunities for us as black alumni that we can do, especially if we are financially in a position financially to support and fund our own scholarship. Like, we don't always have to go with the traditional ways of what, like this association forming and starting its own scholarship, but as an individual, you can start your own scholarship and work with the development office to identify students that it can support. Financial aid and development office, but there are opportunities and other ways that we can really show that we want to grow that community so it's more representative in the way that it wasn't when we were there or before we were there, depending on what time and period you were at Macon.
Right.
But it's really just knowing who to talk to and where to go. And a lot of people, as soon as they hear alumni office, they're like, I don't want to talk to them. I don't. They don't.
Part of the problem is that they always tell us like, yo, we looking for more money.
I mean,
we looking for more money.
So
and I
get it, and this is I believe if you just go ahead and give a little bit, they won't bother you anymore for the rest of the year. So if you give now, that is July,
they will leave you alone.
They will leave you alone. But if you are really just evil and want to torture them, yes, give every year at June 30. That is my evil. Yes, and you can be even mean and do it at 11:59 on June 30, because it'll be torture. But no, my point is, at the end of the day, as alumni, we have a huge stake in what happens at the institution. We just have to utilize our voice. Sometimes you do have to utilize your voice and some money, but for the most part, if we can all collectively mobilize ourselves in a way that we'll get the change that we're seeking. I am so appreciative of the young women, and I'm not sure how many people even have saw it or anything, but there were a group of Black Women Alliance that championed, wrote a letter to the institution last year and spoke out about some of the injustices that they saw and experienced, and the collective statements from numerous members of the Renown Macon community, specifically from alumni, but some non-alumni were also a part of it as well, to bring it to the president and cabinet and board of trustees' attention, because they wanted something to be done. And a lot of the things that have shifted at Macon were sparked by that group, and that's incredible. Like, it says a lot when we come together for the common goal. We can see change. Yes, it might not be at the pace we want, but we keep pressing. Something's got to give. Eventually. So.
And it's just good to see it.
Yes.
Even if it's not a lot, it's good to still see it.
I wholeheartedly do that, and that's really why I do all of the work that I do with different nonprofits and groups, because like I said, there's so many different gaps that are not being filled. So many different people are getting left behind or left out, and as I join these groups, I can help push, either push people into the right direction or propel them forward in one way or another, so that we can get those changes that we desire to be done. So
let's finish off with some flash questions, shall we?
Oh, go for it.
All right. We're just gonna ask some flash questions. Give me an answer. Go from there. Let's start off with the obvious. What's your favorite Beyonce song?
I knew that was gonna be a question. Oh my god! Oh my god, this is so hard. So hard. Oh my, this is so hard. I don't want to be wrong.
I don't think you can be wrong.
You can be wrong. Oh, this is so stupid. That's not it. I'm gonna say Check Up On It, but it's not really that one. But I don't know which one I want, so I'm gonna go with that one.
Okay, that's fine.
Check Up On It.
I don't think that's. I don't really think there's a wrong answer. She's got a lot.
She's got a lot.
If
you said album, I could probably go for no, because that's a cliche album. But I did really like Beyonce. Is that one? No, B-Day. That's the one I like. B-Day.
Okay.
I'm a B-Day girl.
All right. What is your favorite TV show of all time?
TV show of all time.
Like the one that you'd be like, this is what I'm watching. Private Island. Only show available. This is what I'm watching.
Only show available, and this is what I'm watching. I know this is probably gonna get me murdered by the Black community. But the answer is Friends.
Get the. Oh my god.
It is. It's such a hard. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. I really do like that show.
Friends is ass.
It is, and I
Friends
know
is
it. Like,
terrible.
I yell at it every time it's on. But there's just something about it that just gives me pure joy. And I think it's just because it takes me back to my childhood of just watching Thursday night television, like NBC specifically, and that lineup. So, like, cause yeah, I'm weird, I know, but like and I say this only because I can recite pretty much every episode of every black show I've ever watched without watching it.
Okay.
So I don't need to have it on
Right.
to find enjoyment from it. And somebody might not believe me, but if you are at least in my family, you know we recite every TV show, every movie, and can quote it like verbatim.
That's a fact.
But Friends,
that's a common staple in the black family. My dad will The Matrix.
Oh yeah.
The entire movie.
That's scary.
It is sick.
That's creepy.
I'm like, fam, I cannot watch this with you right now.
That's weird.
You're killing me right now.
But like, so if I was, specifically because you said if I was like on an island, like by myself somewhere, I would only have it on so I could go to sleep.
You're trying to save yourself.
No, I'm like, that's like I can go to sleep. I don't have to have it. I can just go to sleep.
Right.
I can go to sleep. I don't care. I can go to sleep. I'm still laughing, ha ha ha, and then I'm gonna pass out. It's gonna be great.
I don't know about that. Anyway, okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like I just betrayed.
What's an ideal meal? Like, what's an ideal dinner? Like, this is like, I want this.
My ideal dinner is trash. Okay, you ready?
I'm listening.
Chips and salsa.
Okay.
As like my appetizer.
Sure. Yeah.
Followed by shrimp fried rice and shrimp and broccoli.
Okay.
Followed by like a really big behind salad.
Okay.
And then some water.
What an odd meal.
It's like my favorite foods all at once.
What an odd meal.
Oh, and then if I wanted to be healthy afterwards, like really healthy, watermelon.
You had a salad.
Oh no, but I want watermelon too. What? I feel judged.
She said, let me go to this Mexican restaurant. I'll also go into this Chinese restaurant. Also hitting up Ruby Tuesday's open salad bar.
But then I want some watermelon.
And then just go to the backyard for some watermelon.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Keep it classy.
Oh man.
Like most people would have been like, I wanted some filet mignon.
Yeah, like
no, that's not at all what I want.
You keeping it simple.
Grease
I appreciate that.
Happy.
Yeah. You should eat what makes you happy, bro. That's
Thank yes.
yeah. Yeah. Maybe not in that order.
No, not that order. Like I would technically do like the salad.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Chips and salsa, and then the shrimp and rice and some
Oh
broccoli.
man. Okay. Oh man.
I threw you off twice now. I'm ready.
Yeah, that's
good.
Oh my god.
This is good.
So, were you ever like a gamer at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Tell me what your favorite video game is.
Crash Bandicoot.
Original? The first one or
Second.
Okay.
I beat it.
Okay.
A lot.
That's a what's called. That Crash Bandicoot games are notorious for being tough. Like their difficulties are stupid. Like
you wanna know how I got into that game? My grandma.
really?
Yeah, the one I talked about, my best friend.
That is fantastic.
We gamed together.
That's fantastic.
She would go find the secret codes and we would unlock them.
That's fire. That's fire.
And so cause she had a PlayStation, so I would go play with her at her house. And then when I got my PS1, I think she got me my Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
And we had two. It was the same game. And so I would get to a certain level, and she was like, I couldn't get to that level. Can you help me beat it?
Yeah.
So when I would go to her house, we would play together.
That's fine.
And she'd say, wait, here's a cheat code. Go check this out. See what you can do with that.
That's dope.
So yeah, I've beat that.
Okay,
yeah,
Crash Bandicoot. That's a good choice though. Crash Bandicoot. I'm glad they actually brought him back recently.
Yes.
Like, I might even get that new game because they said it was really good.
Can't go wrong with Crash.
You can. He always got thrown to the wayside, but they definitely brought him back. And and he still is as popular as ever.
He's so fire.
Okay. Um, where's somewhere you want to go?
Somewhere I want to go?
Yeah. Like what's if you want a vacation and it's all paid.
Oh.
Yeah. Like mine is always Japan, right? No matter what.
Yeah. I just want to try street food.
No, it's not. That don't try street food.
No, that's not where I want to go either.
Jesus.
I don't know. Like, I know. This is partially. I don't know. I don't care. I like to travel,
Yeah.
and I just want to bounce around. I like water, so anywhere with good beaches. That's
Okay.
not necessarily on this side of the prime meridian.
I'm sure there's some good beaches over in the East Coast. Well, Eastern Hemisphere.
Yeah. I just want to go over there. This side, it's not bad, but I just want to try on that side. See what happens.
What about Southern Hemisphere
Southern Hemisphere
beaches? That might be
good too. Yeah.